Sean Pollock and John Ramdeen with you to go through the news that is going on in mixed martial arts. And we start off in the women's bantamweight division because Lenny Fresquez, who is the manager for former bantamweight champion Holly Holm, speaking about their options and the fact that the Chris Cyborg Justino fight was offered, but they decided that was not the fight that they wanted. They have their eyes set on the rematch with Miesha Tate or the rematch with Ronda Rousey. Do you have any thought towards that kind of thinking that the management had for Holly Holm and what her next fight should be?
I think it makes sense considering we all know how dangerous Chris Cyborg is. And I know Holly Holm and her team realize how dangerous Cyborg is. Unfortunately, the fans haven't been exposed to Cyborg yet. The masses, yes, if you're a mixed martial arts fan, if you're a hardcore fan, you've seen her fight. You watched her beat up Gina Carano. But she hasn't been exposed to this casual fan base that tunes into the UFC on Fox or follows her on pay-per-view. So if Holly Holm managed to take this fight with Cyborg and loses, well, people don't know who she is. I'm sure she'll be more than happy to fight her after she makes her UFC debut, but she's looking for big money fights right now, and the big money fights are Ronda and Miesha Tate. So yes, I'm sure they're more than willing to fight Cyborg, just not right now.
And it's one of those weird deals where Holm goes up to this catchweight fight and theoretically wins. To me, it's a lateral movement for her. I don't think she's any closer to any one of those fights than she is at present. And she loses that fight, even out of the division. I think it definitely affects her standing at 135.
Yeah, it does.
And another thing on top of that is that we don't know what UFC 200 is fully going to feature. I don't know if Miesha Tate's going to fight on that card, but if she is, Holly Holm is the candidate, and she takes this fight, she likely takes herself out of the running for that fight at UFC 200 because of just the proximity of those two cards. So, I mean, for a lot of the grief that Lenny Fresquez gets, I don't question this move.
Yeah, I agree, and especially considering we don't know what's going on with Ronda Rousey, and that's
the X factor.
That's the X factor.
That's absolutely, when everything falls into place, it will be based on her schedule. Let's also discuss the May 29th Fight Night card, which is becoming a showcase for the bantamweight division.
We had Miesha here. How come she didn't tell us?
Well, we tried. We tried. We've got a fight involving Aljamain Sterling and Brian Caraway, which the two have been going back and forth for a long time here. I know you like this fight. For Aljamain Sterling, I mean, where does this fight put him in the 135-pound weight class?
It just keeps him active. If he manages a victory, he gets a victory over a guy people know. And I like this fight for Brian Caraway because if he wants to put himself in the mix, he can pull a Miesha Tate and take out one of the top prospects at 135 pounds, a guy that a lot of people believe will be challenging for the bantamweight title somewhere down the road. This kid's a very, very talented individual. As a matter of fact, he spent some time recently here in Toronto.